Police pension, $125,056. Local road and street, $41,000. Motor vehicle highway, $203,996,000. Parks and Rec, $36,000. CCI, CCD are not handled by us. Sanitation, $485,901, for a grand total of $2,238,961. Any questions? So all Gateway. You guys got copies of the budget.
You have anything, Ryan?
Ryan, with that, I'll close the meeting. Public hearing.
Anybody out here have anything? We'll close the section public hearing, and then we'll go into the public hearing for the grant loan assistance from USDA. Who's speaking on that?
The public hearing for the grant loan is for the proposed upgrades to some of the sewer lines throughout the city. This is just a public hearing to allow us to seek funds through USDA, their grant loan assistance program. Somewhere in the tune of $5 to $7 million. So that's all I have with that.
Ryan, anything?
Nope.
Anybody out here anything?
I have a question. Is that a loan or a grant?
It's grant loan. Both.
What does that mean?
USDA, they'll do grant with, they'll loan you the money with a portion of it being grants.
Okay. So
That's
you won't have to pay.
matches,
That's what I'm interested in.
Yes.
Is making sure that they're delivering funds that communities aren't.
No, it's USDA. That's what the USDA is for. So.
Right, right. Some of it is a loan, so you do have to pay back some.
It's usually matching. There's usually a matching component, and then it's usually super low interest. It's usually about half what market would be the rate on.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, I guess we'll close that public hearing for the USDA grant. Then we'll go into Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which is one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Ryan, you want to pray?
Lord, in Jesus' name, thank you for this meeting tonight. Lord, we thank you for all the good things you do for us. Lord, we just praise you. Lord, give us wisdom in this meeting. Right decisions. Amen.
Trevor, we'll let Trevor go since they've got some red meat.
Okay. Guys, if you guys are ready.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm gonna leave.
No, you can stay.
Leave extra Roger, you or?
Yeah, sure.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so, as you all know, we're the community foundation. We impact a lot of different areas in the community. Everything from youth to the elderly, historic preservation to social services, kind of everything in between. But education has been a very large part of what we have granted over the years. So about 13 years ago, my board of directors asked me to meet with the local school superintendents and find out from them where they felt like we should place a strategic focus that would, have a big impact in the community. So both superintendents at the time said, so that's what we did. We partnered with United Way Scott County. We brought the library here. We created an early childhood committee. We've done a lot of stuff over the years. We've had like resource fairs, literacy events, networking for educators, just a lot of different things. Last fall, Lilly Endowment announced a community leadership planning grant. And so we knew that we wanted to use that for early childhood and kind of take what we're doing a step further and be more impactful with everything. So we contracted with Dr. Melissa Fry at IU Southeast to create the strategic plan that you have in front of you. We had listening sessions this past spring, so we heard from a lot of different people, different sectors in the community. So we took all of that, and then that's what we have here tonight to present to you is the plan. You're probably thinking, as city council members, how does this affect you? And I think you'll hear from Dr. Fry tonight that this is a very critical issue that affects everybody in the community, not just parents of young kids. Economic development is really something that impacts everybody. So we just want to say thank you for giving us time to share the findings, and hope that by the end you realize the importance of investing in education.
Thanks for having me. So I'm going to use just the acronym ECE to refer to early care and education, and that's birth to 5 care before children would then move into the K-12 system. So I'm the director of the Applied Research and Education Center at IU Southeast. I've done community and economic development research and facilitation for 17 years now. The very first research report that I wrote as a research associate for a nonprofit community economic development firm in Eastern Kentucky was on childcare and the challenges of building sustainable businesses in childcare in a low-income rural market. So, communities very much like communities we have around here. I had been exposed to research on early brain development as the mother of young children, participating in a cooperative play school preschool. But my work in Kentucky led me to the literature on the economic benefits of high quality early care and education. In my community economic development work, I examine community systems and help local organizations identify leverage points for community transformation and thriving. Education and healthcare are foundational for all communities, and ECE may be the point of greatest leverage for both, for increasing educational attainment and for increasing health, improving health. So this evening I will share with you just a very small slice of the extensive research on the economics of early care and education and what the economic picture looks like for Scott County families. And I'll hit a few highlights on early brain development and what access to high quality ECE looks like in Scott County. So Jamie has provided a couple of fact sheets to drive home the value and importance and to give all of you some talking points and things to consider as you make decisions for your community. I will note some of these figures will be updated and enhanced. I think this new report actually, I have heard no word of it being out yet, but there's a new report coming out that looks more closely at the costs and updates economic impact models for the state of Indiana specifically. So we'll make sure that gets sent around as soon as it's publicly available. It's not mine, so I couldn't give you like an advanced copy or anything. The more we study the topic, though, and refine our models and surveys, the more we understand the vital importance of the decisions we make as communities about how we choose to care for and support infants and young children. Across the literature and examinations of various impacts of high-quality ECE, estimates of the return on each dollar invested in high-quality ECE range from about $4 to $16. Estimates of just the public return on public investment are at about that $4 mark, $4 invested. And those estimates do not include impacts on future healthcare costs or public assistance. So savings that we have on healthcare and public assistance that result from investing in early care and education are not even reflected in those returns. Or of steady employment of child care workers. So the potential for higher income and more stable employment among those employed in a more high quality early care and education system are also not reflected in those numbers. A 2018 study of the impact of inadequate child care in Indiana estimated that the shortfall in child care cost the state about $1.8 billion in direct costs to employers, including $1.1 billion due to employee absence and turnover. That report estimated costs for rural Park and Montgomery counties at $3.3 million and $7.9 million annually. Scott County's population size lies between these two counties. So we might pencil in the costs of Scott County employers at around $5 million. $5 million each year lost to employee absence and higher turnover resulting from unreliable childcare, lower quality childcare that tends to be less stable and less reliable. Quality childcare is essential to increasing labor force participation and lowering child poverty rates. Among Scott County women with children under the age of 6, labor force participation is about 68.5%, compared to 73.1% in Indiana and 72.8% nationally. 31.8% of Scott County children under 5 years of age live in poverty. So that's 31%, almost 32% of Scott County children under 5 years of age are in poverty, compared to just over 18% in the state of Indiana and nationally. That number drops to 16.6% for children 5 to 17 years old in Scott County. And that's when our existing public child care and education kicks in, our public K through 12 system. Okay, that suggests that local parents work when they have somewhere safe and healthy to send their kids, and their households then earn more money. They work more hours. Some of them move into the labor force, but it's also just that they work more hours and are able to earn more when they have that reliable care. A new study out of Ball State estimates that adding 100 child care workers to the typical Indiana economic growth region would lead to an additional either 860 women ages 25 to 34 or 2,300 women ages 35 to 44 in the labor force. That difference in numbers is just that the age groups, it's attributable to the fact that infants have a far lower required child to caregiver ratio than older children, toddlers, and preschoolers. So younger women are more likely to have younger children, so you would only be able to employ a smaller number of them with those additional 100 child care workers. Investments in early care and education are economic development. Okay, years ago, some work done by Mildred Warner at Cornell found that the economic development multiplier for high quality ECE is about 3 to 4 times that of traditional economic development strategies. And that's precisely because you have the people working in early care and education, as well as the impacts on the parents of those young children, all operating, and local child care providers need to buy supplies. They need to buy food and supplies, and so more child care providers means more business for other local businesses. But part of the reason for high returns also lies in the lifetime impact on children who receive high quality care. 90% of the brain's structure is built by age 5. And much of that scaffolding within the brain, the neuroscaffolding, forms by age 2. My old fact sheets and reports included a data point that I thought was great. 700 to 1,000 neural connections were made each second during the first few years of life. Well, Harvard has actually updated that figure. The Harvard Center on the Developing Child has conducted a systematic review of current research, which uses more advanced brain imaging technology, and now they're saying that more than 1 million new neural connections are formed each second in those early years of brain development. The foundational scaffolding on which all future learning builds is established before our traditional K-12 public school system even meets a child. This means taking collective responsibility for supporting strong starts for children birth to age 5 is in all our best interests. It's not just for parents, it's for all of us. In Scott County, roughly 70% of children under age 6 with all parents in their household working do not have access to care that is rated high quality. The Department of Health and Human Services says that affordable child care is care that costs no more than 7% of the household income. The average cost of registered care in Scott County, regardless of quality, is well above 70% of the median household income, making it unaffordable for the majority of households with children. While many families qualify for voucher and provider wait lists limit the impact of such assistance. The state has recently changed some requirements for vouchers to make them more accessible, particularly for those who work in ECE, but also for all those earning up to 185% of the poverty level. Still, the supply of quality care and the costs of care keep it out of reach for the majority of Scott County families. So they make do. They choose not to work. Parents work opposite shifts or fewer hours, and many children are left with whatever adult is available to keep them safe. During our listening sessions, we had one person share a story of someone leaving the child home with a family member with active substance use disorder because that was the only adult available. As County leaders, you are vitally important stakeholders with an interest in seeing Scott County seize the opportunity that early childhood presents. Over the last 7 years, Scott County increased the number of quality ECE slots fourfold by putting pre-K in the elementaries and the Early Learning Academy. Recent shifts eliminated nearly a quarter of those quality ECE slots. A committee representing diverse stakeholders and incorporating input from several listening sessions has developed a strategic action plan for Scott County. The plan includes the following 3 components. 1, community education and advocacy, to shift the conversation around ECE away from a babysitter model that assumes that a child that can't talk only needs a clean diaper and regular feedings, to one rooted in a clear understanding of the importance of birth to 5 and the potential returns on investment for increasing supply and access to affordable, high-quality care, marked by developmentally appropriate activities and interactions. 2, a Scott County ECE director. This position would provide backbone support to align community assets and coordinate access to care to move toward the goal of every Scott County child having access to high-quality, affordable care. This person would actually be employed by the existing resource and referral agency, but would be focused specifically on Scott County and its needs, and also do the work of aligning assets to create more high-quality care in Scott County. And 3, build a high-quality early care and education workforce pipeline. Scott County has ready assets for building a pipeline of trained and educated early care and education workers who can create developmentally appropriate, language-rich environments for infants, toddlers, and preschool-age children. These include Schneck Medical Center's babysitting certification and training, the high school career and technical education programs, including the Prosser Early Childhood Program, Ivy Tech's Child Development Associate's degree, and IU Southeast Elementary and Early Education Programs. Local government has a role to play, along with area employers, school districts, and the state. Your community has energy and many assets ready to align in pursuit of leveraging early childhood to build quality of life and a high-quality labor force for a strong future. I encourage you to engage this opportunity. And as a local governing body, some resources that you have at your disposal, sure, there's funding, but we all know that's tight and being pulled in many directions, of course. But you also make decisions related to things like zoning or business permitting or requiring licenses and business permits in order for somebody to operate an early care and education facility, for example. You may have space, whether that's land for redevelopment or buildings that are vacant that could be renovated and put to use for early care and education. So those are all resources that you do have, control over that are not necessarily asking you for another line of funding. You also could, if you do have funding available and you want to grant that in any way to early care and education providers, you can incentivize quality and require that, whatever resources you might be providing, that you're looking for paths to quality level 3 or 4, that's considered high quality care, to access any other resources that you may have available and be willing to provide to the sector. I have any questions for me?
Everybody good?
Thank you. Thank you.
Guess we'll move on to the minutes from last month. Anybody have any corrections or issues?
Motion to approve minutes for August 13th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Claims for August 14th through September 10th. Anybody have any comments or questions on those?
Motion to approve.
Motion is second. All in favor? Motion passed. 3-0. Anybody have any old business? Chris or Josh?
I do not.
No. Anybody have any new business? Anything you need, Chris?
Gonna ask you guys to need to look at doing a rate study for sanitation. Roger and I have met. Our current rate study is 8 years old next year. So, and we're going to apply for a lot of grants and stuff. They usually want them within 5 years. So we're looking at 3 years since it's outdated.
What's the cost, I guess, of a study like that?
We'll just have to put out a request for proposal, and I off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you what the last one. I mean,
It's probably went up since the last one we had 8 years ago.
I want
Anyways.
somewhere $15,000.
10, 15.
I don't please don't hold me to that, but
Yeah, I mean, we, Scottsburg just went through the same process. We use Crown Associates. It is a professional service, so we don't have to go through the publishing notice and quotes and all of that. So it is an exception or code. So I can reach out. We use Crown Associates there, and they were great to deal with and very responsive. That's been an area where there's been a lot of consolidation, so there's just not a lot of competition or very many people that do entities that do that anymore.
I don't think the last 2 times we've done a rate study, it was Reedy and Baker Tilly were the only 2 that have applied for it, and I've sent proposals.
Are you asking for action on this, Chris?
No, I mean,
Is this something that
just something to consider. We need to, I mean, if you guys want to take action, it is something. I mean, we have 30 some houses being built, as we all know, on the Meadowbrook subdivision. We will be receiving, it looks like, something from, we all know, Reedy, or the Ready Grant. So, you're looking at more housing. It's just more housing comes, more trash, more work on our guys. And since I've been in office, I've been big on having a capital expenditure plan. Not waiting till we need something to say, hey, how are we going to fund this? Come up with a plan, and that's hopefully what this will do. They'll factor in, they'll talk to everybody, factor in the cost of a garbage truck, a projection of what our tipping fees are with Scottsburg or whoever we go with it. It takes in a lot of that information and gives you, this is what your rate needs to be. It's something that needs to happen, especially if we're going to, we know that we're going to need a Packer before long. I think next year will be 7 years old. And again, those a beating. With that being said, I mean, you got to figure out how to fund it. I mean, I think I mentioned earlier today, you're looking at in the neighborhood of $300,000 for the hopper truck that the mayor's want to go with. And we all think it's a good idea. I think Shane thinks it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Roger's talked to you with the idea of providing the citizens with a 96-gallon garbage container, and all households with one. And if they want more, they can buy from us and purchase one. But something like that where the arm goes around, where one guy can go around and pick up trash. We met last week with one of the companies just to get an idea of what the quote would be. He told us that those type of trucks can pick up, I want to say, 800 to 900. Maybe I know it's more than that. Maybe it's 2,100. Don't quote me. I forget. Household today, which you literally could.
we could cut our days in half?
We could cut our days in half.
Yeah.
And
that would free up those
Free up.
guys to do.
Yes, free up.
Other things
That
to
would free up 2 guys. I mean, our street sanitation guys are kind of one department. And, as we know, we've got a lot of mowing and
Less wear and tear.
yes, less wear and tear. But with that, also as I mentioned earlier today, we would still our old packer we would have to maintain for a while. That would be something we probably have to look at with our dumpsters. The Bozeman would not pick up the back, but it could be fitted. Again, I want to say it was around $10,000 or $11,000 with the pickup on the back to dump it. So if we could keep the
How many people do you think we'd need per truck if we had the arm?
well, maybe 2. From what this gentleman said today, or told not today, last week, that truck has cameras, so he could pull up to your house, and with the cameras, he could see the arm would come down. He's able to see, not have to get out of the truck if it's where the arm can reach. Literally, just take the cameras, see it, use the arm, pick it up, and dump it.
How many we got working?
Like 5 or 6?
We got a minimum 3 guys per truck.
I've seen days with like 5 though.
Yeah, if you got that's according. I mean, like
If we have the help.
if we have the help. I mean, there's times Christmas, Thanksgiving, they haul it. Like if we're closed on a Monday, we get inundated with trash on Tuesday. So it would save money in the long run, but again, if you're going to add, I forget what's 180 houses at York Woods Crossing. We're talking 30 some over here. This one plus I don't know, probably 50 or 60. I can't remember the number Tyler said that we've built so far new houses in Austin. It's a lot of extra, and it's time to modernize. It just is. But I would ask you guys to at least consider it if you want to wait for everybody. I want to put that out there for you.
I emailed Brandon Crone and CC on it, asking on what they would need to give us.
All right. That's all I have.
Anybody want to take action on that or wait?
Numbers.
Wait. Okay. All right.
And that's a process. We got with the notices and stuff that we've got to do, and I mean
We don't have to approve anything to get the ball rolling. If Chris and Roger decide they want to do the rate study.
No, we'll just need to. I mean, if get the numbers, and I can come back with the numbers at the next meeting. And say this is what they're saying it's going to cost. You can give me a not to exceed amount or something like that.
I'm just saying once we get once they get us what it needs to be, it's a several step process.
All righty. Any other new business? Ryan? Joe?
Nope.
Don't have anything. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ryan.
Second.
Second by Joe. All in favor? Aye.